Hey everybody, welcome back to The Gardening Artist. Reba here, out in the greenhouse, and I just finished up cleaning up my greenhouse area and moving all my containers around so I have a nice wide open area to walk. I can bring my step stool in here or a chair and sit down with a cup of coffee in the morning and just enjoy the plants. So this is how everything's looking. You can hear the drips from me just freshly watering everything. I did have to come in and put up some chicken wire and some random little, these little spiral cone things from the craft area at Dollar Tree. I got them last year, well, Christmas before last actually, and so technically 2 years ago. And I put them up out here in the greenhouse so that I could protect my cuttings that I had put in the ground here or in the raised beds area. I think a rabbit got in here and devoured a bunch of the buds off of a lot of the cuttings and off of my my kill. I had this one here planted. It has sprung back since I put the netting up, and so hopefully it'll continue to grow again. Things were just getting large enough for me to actually harvest off of when it came in here, and it just ate all of the good stuff. It ate a lot of the buds off of a lot of the these here. These are the cuttings for I'm wanting to say pomegranates. I do see some green right there. You can see that little green spot right there. And so I'm hoping the other ones will also put out some green. It does look like there's something coming there and something there. So hopefully they will be fine. I'm not sure actually if the rabbit actually ate off of these ones yet. But I tried to move the tags right above the nodes so that they would. I see some green here now, which is good. It did eat some of the lower green, and I have the mulberry here protected. I did pinch off the flowers because I want it to focus on rooting rather than putting out fruit this year. This is the contorted mulberry. It did eat off a lot of the buds off of this one here. As you can see, a lot of the bud area on those actually went away. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. There we go. And so it ate all of those areas off of those mulberries. It didn't touch the currant or the gooseberry here, which I actually have this gooseberry from them from last year, so I ended up getting the wrong one. That's okay. I think it's the velvet, black velvet. So I'm okay with having two of those. I'll probably just end up potting them in a same pot together and just have them separated in the pot, just for while they're small. And so everything's looking pretty good. I did get these little ornaments at Hobby Lobby last year, including the little ants. The Dollar Tree ones actually fell apart in the pots outside, so I probably will not be buying any more Dollar Tree like painted items, because I don't know what's in the paint from the Dollar Tree, and I don't know how safe that is for it to be leaching into the ground. So I did try to get all the shards out of my pot outside where they completely just deteriorated and just fell apart. Anyways, so just be careful about what things you buy for garden decorations in your container pots, especially if it's an edible planter that you're placing things in. Would probably recommend more putting decorations like that into pots that are more like flowers or non-fruiting trees. Anyways, so I did move everything around. I did get a lot of the plants actually weeded in here. There's still a couple that I didn't get to, but I did move things around so I can actually reach things a little bit better. Now I can get to my rosemary here in the middle there, and I do have flowers coming on the crandall currant here. The other one is a golden currant. I don't know if it's probably the same exact one, because the berries get black on this one. This one here didn't put out any flowers this year, maybe next year. I've had this one for 2 seasons. I should have already seen flowers on it if it was going to make flowers, I would assume, but no flowers. It's kind of like the crandall currant as well, but this one they said it was a golden currant, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm hoping that it actually puts out berries that are golden in color versus the crandall where it puts out the blackberries. But time will tell whether or not this actually is more basically the same thing as a crandall or if it's actually different. So we will see, but it's a good height. It's about 3 feet high, and so it's looking really good. I have my flowering quince. It has opened up. I accidentally knocked off one of the flowers, so you guys can see it is just beautiful, and it's got water drops on it right now. Just beautiful. And I've got tons more buds, so those will be developing and coming to bud out soon as well. But 2 already, which is really nice. I did move my gooseberries into the greenhouse like last month sometime, and I've placed these ones on this top shelf here so I can keep an eye on them. And the reason why I moved them into the greenhouse is because I have problems with aphids eating everything on them, and so I'm hoping that maybe by having them in the greenhouse I will have less aphids. I did see some aphids in here already, so hopefully I did squish those. I haven't seen any more since I squished the ones. It was on a different plant, so we will see if I actually get some fruit. I've gotten fruit off of this one before. I believe I'm wanting to say this is pink pixel, but it's probably not. It might be the one that's called Friends. And it's a thornless gooseberry variety, and it is called Friends or Friend. Let me see here. I gotta wear my reading glasses. Called Friend. All right, so it does have a thorn right here, but the thorns tend to actually fall off of this variety of gooseberry. So and it does have little blossoms on it, and I have gotten fruit off of it before, and they are the dessert gooseberries. I prefer the dessert gooseberries versus the super tart gooseberries. You can pick dessert gooseberries early while they are green, and they will act exactly like the super tart yellow or green, or as they like to call them, white gooseberries. And so they look more green in color, generally speaking, and or a light pale yellowy green color a lot of the times when they're called yellows. So anyways, but I prefer the dessert ones that tend to become more of a pink or a burgundy color. So there's that. And I'm not planning on collecting every gooseberry variety. It's a different case when it comes to my elderberries. I do really enjoy having the different colors of the elderberries. And anyways, elderberries are great because I use them in my making my elderberry syrups every year. And ever since I started taking my elderberry syrup this year, it helped me get well quicker. I'm not a doctor, don't take my advice, but I have seen that when I do take it, when I feel like I'm coming down with something, it immediately helps nip that and make the length of whatever I'm getting go away quicker. So there is that. But yeah, I've got all the gooseberries up here, some of the ones I grew from seed, and they are doing really awesome. And then down here on this second row inside, I do have my cuttings for my fig trees that many of which that I sold this year. I sold some of the bigger plants. I just took cuttings. If they root, they root. It's meant to be. If they don't root, then it's not meant to be. And because I still have so many, you guys, fig trees. And then these ones were the ones I rooted last year. I did not purchase or trade or get any new fig cuttings this season. And so anything that I'm rooting this year, this section back here, are all from fig trees that I already had or have. So there is that. And then these ones are rooted from last year. Some of them are duplicates only because I cut the cuttings in half to make more than one tree. And we'll see what comes out of dormancy. I do see some green on a lot of those already, and they're doing good. And I do need to pot these ones up into 1 gallons this year so that all of my little fig trees are in 1 gallons at the very least. And then over here I've got elderberries and a mixture of tea plants. I've got 2 tea plants, the Korean one here, and then I can't remember the name of this one, but it's down there. It makes the pinkish colored tea flower. And so I'm looking forward to growth on these this year. And then I got some fig trees, and I've got blueberry down here in the front, right here. And then on this side, I've got fig trees up here in the corner, some of which that I've grown from seedlings, from seeds from my niece when she was living in California. She sent me some figs and from her yard and from a tree nearby. And there was a tree that was planted behind a pizza place in town where I grew up. And some of the fig cuttings, I've got one fig cutting that came from tree number 1. And I do know that Leanne from Sacred Origins, she actually had found these trees behind this place, and this is one of the trees. I can't remember if it was cherry pie or something like that, but that's what that was from. And some of the seedlings that I have came from the fruit off of that tree, and from the seeds from the fruit. Anyways, and I have those growing in the pot behind that one. And this one is Olive City Gems seedlings there, and this one here too. And then this is tree number 2 that was behind. These are seedlings from that. I didn't get one of the cuttings to actually root. Well, it died. So I only ended up with the fruit off of that one and not a corresponding tree. But somebody came through and notified the city about people profiting probably off of the fig trees behind that establishment. And the city came through and actually removed that tree or trees that were behind there, at least the best to their ability. I don't know if it ever, any of the roots that remained came back, or if new trees came up from the fruit that had fallen. So there's that. Anyway, so I do have this one here, and they're just seedlings. And I didn't ever separate them out from one another, so at some point I will need to do that, but I'm not so worried about that at this point. They are still being established. If they live, they live. If they don't, they don't. I'm not going to worry about it so much. And then I do have my other fig trees here, and I have been culling my fig collection, even though I did keep some cuttings from some of them, but that's all right. I wanted to make it easier for me to ship the trees that I sold, so I had given them a vigorous pruning. Somebody wasn't so happy about that, even though they could see that it was a short tree and it wasn't exactly what they wanted. They tried to steal from me. Anyways, PayPal found it in my favor, thank God, because I didn't twist their arm to make the bidding on the auction listing. So anyways, so everything's looking good here, and I've got currants on this side. So I have gooseberries on the other side and currants on this side, and then maybe some currants and some gooseberries down here, as well as some blueberries. I got pink lemonade and some, what do you call them? Oh, huckleberry. I got a huckleberry here and a huckleberry here. And then these ones are this is from one of my trees. I got this one to actually root. For me, I have found it very hard to actually propagate blueberries, and this is one of the pink blueberries, pink lemonade, and I actually did get this one to actually root, which is very happy. I'm very happy about it. And then this one is from Baker Creek, and they have always been very yellow. I need to probably fertilize this, and hopefully we'll see if it actually grow some more this year. They've not put on a lot of growth, and these ones are the ones from Baker Creek as well, pink lemonade. And they, again, they're very yellow in color, and they don't look very healthy. They've never really grown for me much at all. I've had them for almost 3 years. And so I'm thinking they're tissue cultures. I'm not sure. I've not had very much success with some of the things, especially like live plants in this respect from Baker Creek. But some of the stuff does really well. So I've just kept it in smaller pots just to, keep an eye on it. And then in here I have some of the plants that the rabbit decimated, and some of them that they weren't even bothering. I just put them in here. So the rabbit actually ate all of the leaves off of my tomato plants, and I've got new growth coming on them. And then this one back here as well, there's a little bit coming on the top here finally, and it'll put out hopefully from the little elbows of the tomato like it's done down here. So hopefully they will do good and bounce back. And then I have some of the elderberries that were having a little bit of a hard time. I've put them in here in this little double greenhouse area, cuttings that I am rooting. And this side is some kale. Rabbit ate these all the way down to the ground, and it's got some new growth coming in right here, which is really good. And then it also ate my mustard. And then I have the little green bits. I don't know if that's going to actually make any more plant, but I do have this part here. And then it ate my lettuce, and it ate every bit of the spinach. So I don't really think there's any spinach coming back. It also ate the leaves off of this tender young wild cherry. These are like the Queen Anne cherries, very delicious. These were from the trees that were growing in the back forest area when we had a forest behind our house. And I don't know, I'm thinking that the people who cleared all those trees out may have broke some laws. There were some large ant, Thatcher ant habitation right near the back of our fence line, and they took that out, and I think those are actually a endangered thing. And there was also a bald eagle's nest up in the trees in the forest behind our house, and they took that tree out that had that giant nest in it as well. And bald eagles always come back to nest in areas every year to you know, hatch eggs and raise young. And they took out that, and now the bald eagle has actually, I think, taken up residency across the street in a tree in the neighbor's backyard, and they have begun making a new nest, I think. And so we've been seeing it circling in another section. So hopefully things will be okay, but I think they broke some laws when they took out all the trees back behind in that area. Anyways, down here I've got some more elderberries, and this one I don't think is going to survive. Something happened, and this one was a red elderberry, which is really not an edible elderberry anyways. All elderberries are poisonous. You do have to cook them, but this one I think is dead completely, and I guess I'm not so sad about it. I will have an empty pot soon then. And then I got my citrus trees down here. I had them inside because the young trees just don't do so well here in this climate, and I really don't want to be fussing with them. So I either need to eventually have a greenhouse that is climate controlled, so that I can have some of my more exotic plants in that little greenhouse, or maybe cull my collection and not have citrus, even though I really like it. Maybe only have a couple, like one or two that I can have indoors, and then or some that actually do well in the region. So this is borderline being able to have citrus in our grow zone. Anyways, you guys, thanks for watching the video. Comment, like, subscribe, click that bell button. As always, have a wonderful one. I love what you grow what you love, and God bless. Bye.